A lot of folks have identified Satoshi over the years. Who in your mind is definitely not Satoshi?
It's definitely not Craig Wright, despite
That's the correct answer.
his repeated efforts, which is still ongoing, which I find amazing. Now he's somehow got, the very highly respected film director Doug Liman to do a film about him being Satoshi. This is a complete farce.
I will say this much. Two things. First of all, Craig Wright, indefatigable, literally the definition of the word. It's amazing that the guy is still on his on his soapbox doing his thing. And we covered the forthcoming, or we talked briefly about the forthcoming film, and it is kind of a disappointment to see that.
You guys will appreciate this. At one point, 3 or 4 people at this conference said, "I'll talk to you as long as you can confirm to me that Craig Wright is not one of your candidates." Because they felt very much, I realized, like Satoshi was one of their own, meaning somebody who was a coder, a developer, who understood, had kind of libertarian ideas about what the world should look like, and using computer code to try to protect privacy. And so we spent a lot of time with these cryptographers who were surprisingly open to speaking. I feel a little guilt, actually, Bill. I don't think I've ever said this to you, that so many people I asked to contribute to this film did so very openly, and they thought it was a fascinating question. So in that sense, we were able to gain the trust of many people in the cryptography world.
Most people, when you approach them on this topic, they think that you're kind of pooping in the punch bowl a little bit, right? They say, we don't need to look into this. You're putting a target on this person's back. It's better if it's a secret. And I think that belies the fact that they actually all really want to know. Everyone wants to know. I mean, most Bitcoiners will say, I want that to be a secret. It might be from a principled point of view. But at the end of the day, all of us kind of want to know this, right? Like, it's one of the greatest mysteries, as you said, William, of the 21st century. And I think that it's really great that y'all started with the cypherpunks. And I really like the idea that they asked you about, you're not going to say it's Craig Wright, right? Because I do think that a lot of these efforts have been, from an insider's view looking out, have been marred by this perception of outsiders. People exogenous to the Bitcoin community are usually the ones investigating this, and there's sometimes an ulterior motive, or they don't understand things very well. And it looks like y'all did your homework with who you went to first.
One last CTA, where can people find the documentary and go watch it?
Go to your favorite FindingSatoshi.com nearest you.
And if you're a Coinbase user, you can watch it on Coinbase as well. They are a supporter of the film.
Yeah.
Tyler, William, thank y'all so much for joining. Congrats on the documentary. Looking forward to cracking it open tonight. Thank you very much for all the work.
Take care.
Thank you for having us.
As a reporter, you rely on evidence, physical evidence, psychological evidence, note-taking, profiling, backup reports, memory, interpretation. Proof in cryptography doesn't need promoting. It doesn't need publicizing. It doesn't need managing in that traditional way that news might be, because you simply prove it mathematically. And then the world lights up if the mathematical proof is correct. And it felt to me that Craig, having shown me privately and having shown 2 of the leading Bitcoin experts in the world privately that he had access to the Satoshi encryption keys, Craig, having shown me privately and having shown 2 of the leading Bitcoin experts in the world privately that he had access to the Satoshi encryption keys.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I wasn't asked why I'm convinced Craig is Satoshi. I posted on Reddit. He signed in my presence using the private key from block number 1, the very first mined Bitcoin block. On a computer that I'm convinced had not been tampered with, on software I'm convinced that had not been tampered with, a message of my choosing. And so that kind of sealed the deal for me, convincing me that he does have that private key. My interactions with him feel like this is the inventor of Bitcoin. I remind everybody he is human. I'm sure he makes mistakes like we all do. I'm sure he's made some mistakes in the past. And he wants his privacy. So I'm going to draw a line. If you ask me questions about this, I draw the line at, I will explain why I'm convinced. I will not go into like personal details of the discussion that I had with him.
I do think Craig is Satoshi. I met with him in London. He fits the kind of person that I was interacting with way back in 2010, and he provided some cryptographic proof using the private key from the very first Bitcoin block to show that he possessed that key. So although it's impossible to prove something like that 100%, I think for me, he's proved it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Our next speaker, John Matonis, was a huge name when I got into Bitcoin in 2013, and boy, a lot of impressive stuff. I had no idea. I'm not going to read it all to you. Wait, and I don't, is John here? Oh, right there in front. All right, John, I'll just let him have some more time. All right, John Matonis.
Thank you. Thank you. Wow, what a high quality conference. Thanks to the organizers for inviting nChain. I'm John Matonis. I'm the Vice President of Corporate Strategy at nChain. And nChain stands for Radical On-Chain Scaling Solutions. nChain stands for creation of smart contracts using Bitcoin native scripting, which is, by the way, Turing complete. And nChain also stands for microarchitecture modular software, so not monolithic software. You may also remember my name from a year ago when I wrote a blog post called How I Met Satoshi. It was on medium.com. Received a lot of views, so I thank you all for reading that. I want to do something today that's a little bit unusual for a Bitcoin conference. In fact, I don't think it's ever been done before at a Bitcoin conference. I want to donate and turn over the remainder of my speaking time to a colleague of mine from nChain. He is the legend from Sydney, Australia. He is Mr. Bitcoin Dundee, Craig Wright.
Any idea on who Satoshi is?
I don't think it's the guy from Australia, Craig Wright. I don't think it's
well,
however,
sorry, interrupt. No, go ahead. Sorry to interrupt.
You know what's weird about him? He appeared out of nowhere, and he somehow got himself, I don't know, gosh, this must have been about 10 years ago, up onto a stage at a crypto conference, and no one had heard of the guy. And he ends up on stage, and he's up there with some of the world's great cryptographers like Adam Beck, and no one had ever heard of the guy. And I know people who were in the audience who had this experience, and he's up there holding his own with these world famous cryptographers. And then, but everyone was wondering who, but then the guy gave himself away. He said, well, I have a Honeywell XYZ supercomputer. And everyone knew that had to be a lie because there's like 90 of them ever made, and they know that the NSA has 6, and they know that the IBM has 4, and they know that Stanford has 2, and they know where they all are. It's 5 got sent to Russia. No, they know where they all are, and no way this guy has this Honeywell, that he claimed.
Bitcoin is a commodity for the simple fact that money is a commodity. Obviously, unfortunately, not many people seem to have knowledge of assembly code or forth or anything like that anymore. And I listened to one of Nick's earlier talks, and he was talking about the limitations. But in machine code, there's none of these limitations. And in fact, we have a rather rich instruction set in Bitcoin. It's just not well defined yet. But no one seems to realize that forth actually does loop. You have to use a separate control stack. It's not like a lot of code forms where you actually have a single stack. Forth and forth-like languages use a dual stack architecture. So everything that we're talking about in derived contracts can actually be done directly in Bitcoin and the Bitcoin protocol. It's just going to take time for people to understand it.
Since you mentioned Nick, then I'm going to allow him to respond to that. You need your microphone though, sweet, or the water.
No, I have not heard that opinion before. I've never heard anybody call the Bitcoin script Turing complete. I don't believe that's accurate.
He just said you're wrong.
The difference is the script itself isn't. What you can do is you have in fork a control loop. So the looping function is separate to the actual loop, the script itself.
Yeah, I mean that's an esoteric thing. If it's not Turing complete, then it's not a general purpose language like Ethereum, regardless of
but that would assume that the only way of actually writing code would be to do it directly in a script that runs on the machine.
Okay, so do you have another option?
Well, this would be a good topic for you to write a paper on, because that's certainly an unconventional view you have.
Well, a few months later, there was someone over in Australia who went by to see him and came out and said, I visited this guy, Craig Wright, in his building. And sure enough, in his basement, he has one of these 90 Honeywell machines. But I think, so it is funny. There is some evidence, but I don't think he's really Satoshi.
Everybody knows who was involved back then. In history,
right.
Google,
right?
You know, they got Dr. Adam Back. I mean, Craig Wright was there. A whole bunch of people were there. Who is Satoshi? Well, that's the author of the fucking white paper. I don't know if they flipped a coin, drew straws to say who writes it. But if you want to know which one it was, run some authoring software against it, because everybody involved, especially Dr. Beck, had written dozens of technical papers. Let me give you some clues. In Satoshi's white paper, every word that has dual spellings for American and British English is British.
It's all British, yeah.
It's all British. Every sentence is followed by 2 spaces. Now that's a minority choice in most papers, but 2 spaces. Now, there are only 2 of the accused who were British, and only one of those has 2 spaces in every one of his papers. Figure it out, people. It'll take you 15 minutes. But he doesn't want to be known. I'm not going to name it.
This is a video for newbies to examine and analyze the recent Craig Wright anonymous speech video. We'll first view the video, and then we'll do an analysis on the second rerun of it. The first thing we notice about the video is the copyright date, which is at 1996 to 2009. And here we have the domain and hosting registrations of bitcoin.org, the hosting and the website, with order ID 8125 being bitcoin.org hosting, and order number 8126 being the domain name registration of bitcoin.org. And here we can see the duration of the hosting of the domain name and the registration, and the amount that was paid in euros. At the top here we can see it says log out and then Satoshi, which means the profile is already logged into. And we can see the website is saying that this profile user has membership until the 7th of December 2009. And here we have the individual logging into the site, presumably showing his own passport, which says Craig Stephen Wright, the Australian man who claims to be Satoshi Nakamoto. When the cabal say we are all Satoshi, this is the one man that they claim isn't. Only the individual with the login credentials to this profile would be able to access it. So this video proves conclusively that the man with the possession of Craig Wright's passport has access to the anonymousspeech.com website and has purchased the bitcoin.org domain name and hosting services. This is extremely significant because an alternative protocol was created in August of 2017. and the crypto exchanges listed this new protocol as BTC, which took with it the market price. Craig Wright was outed as being Satoshi Nakamoto by both Gizmodo and Wired magazine in December of 2015. Both Gavin Andresen and John Matonis, co-founders of the Bitcoin Foundation, also admitted publicly that they thought Craig Wright was the creator of Bitcoin and the man behind the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. This would later follow articles released in The Economist and the BBC. Craig Wright has always claimed that the original protocol and genuine Bitcoin, with the chain of signatures still intact that goes right the way back to the Genesis block, now carries the ticker symbol BSV, and that BTC is passing itself off as Bitcoin, making it one of the largest frauds in financial history.
I understand.
Do you?
Do you? This is it. I'm telling you, this is it.
The king still has one more move